See boys, in molecular orbital theory, there are certain bonding orbitals and anti-bonding orbitals. So bonding orbitals are formed by the combination of like these. These are bonding orbitals. This one, this one, this one are bonding orbitals by the combination of atomic orbitals. Anti-bonding orbitals, these are the anti-bonding orbitals by the combination of atomic orbitals. Okay. So during the formation of bonding and anti-bonding orbitals, at some time, at some place, electron density may be equal to 0. The line or the plane where the probability of finding electron is equal to 0 is called as a nodal plane. The plane where the probability of finding electron is equal to 0 is called as nodal plane. So now I am trying to show the nodal planes present in these molecular orbitals. That concept I forgotten yesterday, so that's why I forgot that yesterday. So that's why I'm recollecting the concept. See here. See boys. So 1s orbital, 1s orbital. By the addition, this is the orbital, and it is the bonding orbital. So this is the internuclear axis. This is the internuclear axis. These are the internuclear axis, boys. So this red line is the internuclear axis. This is internuclear axis. So this is also a nuclear axis. And these are the internuclear axis. And that means combinations. So let us take there is just okay. So here around this axis, everywhere electron, that is everywhere electron is, the shape itself gives information about where the electrons are present. Inside that shape, electrons are present. That means, so there is no space inside this without electron, and that is why it has no nodal plane. It has no nodal plane. So everywhere electron is there around that. Okay, nodal plane is where the orbital, where the electrons finding is equal to 0. Probability of finding electrons is equal to 0. That is nodal plane, but here nodal plane is equal to 0. Now, so see here, in this case of sigma star 1s, it is anti-bonding. Sigma star 1s, it is anti-bonding. So here this is the area. So between these two, there is no electron. So inside this, there is electron density, there is electron density. So inside this is the nodal plane, boys, which is perpendicular to the plane of internuclear axis. So this is internuclear axis. So this plane is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, and it is perpendicular to internuclear axis. It is perpendicular. How many nodal planes are there? One nodal plane. So this is that nodal plane. So that is for sigma star 1s orbital, there is one nodal plane where the probability of finding electron is equal to 0. Next, so this is sigma p orbital. Sigma p orbital. So along this, there is almost no nodal plane, but in case of sigma star p, so this is the line, this is the plane where the probability of finding electron is equal to 0. This is that nodal plane. One nodal plane is there. One nodal plane is there in case of sigma star p orbital. Next, in case of this, see here. So pi bonding, this is the area where the probability of finding electron is equal to 0. It is parallel to nodal plane, parallel to internuclear axis. Parallel to internuclear axis, it is nodal plane. See here, this is one nodal plane, this is also another nodal plane. It has two nodal planes. It has two nodal planes. Finally, I can say, so sigma 1s orbital has no nodal plane. Sigma star 1s orbital has a nodal plane which is perpendicular to the plane of the internuclear axis. Next, this one has almost no nodal plane. Next, this one has one nodal plane which is perpendicular to the internuclear axis. See boys, once again, this nodal plane also perpendicular to internuclear axis and perpendicular to the internuclear axis. So see, this is a sigma star p orbital. This is a sigma star 1s orbital. That means the sigma star orbitals have perpendicular nodal planes to the internuclear axis. And so finally I concluded. So sigma star, that is anti-bonding orbitals, and sigma star I mean anti-bonding. Anti-bonding sigma molecular orbitals have nodal planes perpendicular to internuclear axis end. Perpendicular to the internuclear axis end. So pi star antibonding orbital has two nodal planes. So sigma star antibonding orbital has one nodal plane. One nodal plane. So these are the nodal planes. So present in molecular orbital diagrams. So molecular orbitals and so this is the point I forgot yesterday. So please recollect this one. So in our hydrogen bonding, so ice also contains hydrogen bonds. Okay. So ice is the combination of water molecules. So between water molecules we have intermolecular hydrogen bonds. How those intermolecular hydrogen bonds are present in ice? See here. This is H2O molecule. These are the H2O molecules, boys. H2O. This is another H2O molecule. Another H2O molecule. So this is another H2O molecule. Here, this is another H2O molecule. This is also another H2O molecule. These are our H2O molecules. So those are present in what H2O, that is ice. I'm explaining about ice end. So these are H2O molecules. These are all H2O molecules, boys. Okay. So this is the middle water molecule. This water molecule, between them, there is intermolecular hydrogen bonds. And see here. So this is oxygen having partial negative charge, partial positive charge, partial positive charge, positive charge, negative charge, positive charge. Similarly, negative charge, positive, positive, negative, positive, positive, negative, positive, positive. And these are the charge separation, boys. Now, it is the hydrogen connected with high electronegative elements, so that's why it gets positive charge. So nearby oxygen is there. There is intermolecular hydrogen bonding, and there is intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Similarly, here also intermolecular hydrogen bonding possible. So this is the hydrogen once again connected with oxygen. Nearby oxygen is there. So this between these two hydrogen bonds are there. So here also hydrogen bonds are there. That means one water molecule associated with 4 hydrogen bonds and 4 hydrogen bonds. So that too tetrahedrally. Here hydrogen bonds arranged tetrahedrally and hydrogen bonds arranged tetrahedrally. Because of this, there is a large gap between water molecules. So that means actually this is the volume of water ice molecule, ice cube. So there is a large gap in it. Because of this, density of ice is very, very less than that of water. So here density of ice is less than that of density of water because of these hydrogen bonds arranged tetrahedrally with a large gap. Large gap. Okay, so that is why density of ice is less than that of water. There is a height ice floats on water. So because of this intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So here the hydrogen bonds arranged tetrahedrally. So see here, one water molecule, one H2O molecule, so can form 4 hydrogen bonds. See here, one H2O molecule can form 4 hydrogen bonds. Okay, so it is very, very important. So density of water is less than ice is less than that of water because of this hydrogen bonds. Okay, so next, see here, one water molecule associated with two covalent bonds and four hydrogen bonds in isolate. So in one water molecule contains two covalent bonds and four hydrogen bonds. So density is less. So the maximum density is at 4 degrees centigrade. So that is due to these hydrogen bonds, and that is due to these hydrogen bonds. It is a way to express hydrogen bonds in water.